Authorities extended school closures for another 10 days, and hospitals are reporting a surge in patients coming in with breathing difficulties linked to pollution-dense smoke caused by pollutants is so thick you can't see very far. Many here in Lahore say breathing feels like inhaling toxins. It has caused a health crisis in a city of 11 million residents. Especially children and elderly people are at risk. Around 70,000 patients with respiratory diseases arrive at hospitals daily. I've been very sick for the last 7 days. My throat is infected badly because of the smog. I'm suffering from the flu. I can't go to my office. I'm the only person who earns and feeds my family. The situation has forced the government to declare a health emergency in parts of Punjab province. Most important thing is to stay at home if you have not to travel necessarily, and if you are supposed that you have to travel necessarily, please wear mask, good quality mask. Then wear glasses to protect yourself from smoke. Your eyes and lungs should be protected directly from smoke. Then you should take plenty of fluids. Keep hydrated yourself. The local government has set up this center to monitor smoke levels and advise the authorities' activities along the Indian border, such as their farmers burning stubble and wind corridors carrying pollutants toward us, significantly contribute to the pollution and smog that impact us. This phenomenon deteriorates our air quality and climate, as like slow winds, high humidity, and temperature inversions worsen our air quality and raise pollution levels. But many are criticizing the government for not taking the matter seriously enough. Yes, there is a problem, but some of it is the government's fault. That's why these things happen. If they had taken safety measures earlier and on time, closed down factories that release smoke, then we wouldn't have smoke. The local government says it is looking for ways to help. We are trying to go for the artificial rain, but unfortunately the cloud is not available yet. As soon as the requisite amount of cloud is available, we try to burst the cloud and have artificial rain that would also facilitate us in dealing with the problem of the smoke in the city. But till that happens, millions of Pakistanis will have to deal with an environmental crisis that many believe could have been avoided. In Pakistan's Punjab province, officials have declared a health emergency over toxic smog. Schools have been closed for another 10 days across the province, with a lockdown imposed on 2 of the region's biggest cities. Lahore and Molan hospitals have reported a surge in patients coming in with breathing issues linked to the smog. Air pollution in Pakistan and northern India has risen to dangerous levels in recent weeks. Let's get more on the story from environmental lawyer Arif Alam, who joins us now from Lahore. Arafa Arif described to us what it's like to live in a city with such dangerous pollution. Well, thank you, Michael, for having me on the show. I'm still personally trying to process the tragedy that is the fact that my city is now unlivable, not just for myself but for the millions of people who live here. Not just my city, but throughout Punjab, throughout Pakistan, and throughout North India. From Kabul to Kolkata, there is unlivable air pollution. Please give us a sense of where this pollution is coming from and why at these levels. Great question. One of the things that plagues the remedies to air pollution in India and Pakistan is a lack of data. We don't have sufficient air quality monitors running throughout the year that tell us the intensity of the air pollution and what's causing it. But the scant data that we have has been crunched by, for example, the Food and Agriculture Agency of the UN, the World Bank, our own institutions here in Pakistan, and they seem to suggest that about 45% of the year-long air pollution is from the emissions from automobiles, from cars and motorcycles, and then another 35 to 40% comes from energy production and industrial emissions. So we're stuck in this cycle that unless and until Pakistan improves its refineries, upgrades them, moves to renewable energies, and can somehow bring industry under control, things are only going to get worse. Is it now imperative the government impose more regulation? I recall just a few years ago when the lockdowns happened during COVID throughout the world, which were to prevent people from dying and not having access to medical care. I think areas from Kabul to Kolkata, all of North India, are facing a similar situation and have to take measures of a similar intensity to prevent really and I don't even think about it as horrific. Horrific casualties as a result of this air pollution. We're talking levels. You see the air quality index level used to max out at 600. It was 2,400 in Punjab last week. We're beyond records. This is unbelievable and unable. You say it's unbelievable and we see the images. They frankly look dystopian. What other concrete steps could be taken to lower smog levels? As I imagine people are desperate for anything to happen at this point. The apocalypse hasn't been an overnight phenomenon. It's been years and decades in the coming, and similarly it will take years if not decades to fix. The region needs to improve its fuel quality. It needs to move to renewable energy. It needs to be able to capture industrial emissions. It needs to invest in public transport. It needs to stop this seasonal crop burning that takes place. It needs to change the way it designs its CI so it's not sprawling. We have to stop the burning of urban waste. All of these things have to happen at the same time over the course of years before we see an improvement in air quality. I imagine until this is rectified, we will certainly see more of you. That's environmental lawyer RAF.